Hi.
Saprisha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Welcome to SF Olympiad Trainer Live Session.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Saprisha. So, how is the weekend going? Hectic with your
Yeah,
patients?
sort of. It's going good so far.
It's a complete off for you.
Yeah, sorry?
I'm saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm saying, is it a complete off for you, or are you still working today?
Yeah, I still work like for a few hours though, so it's
Okay,
still a
all
pretty
right.
chill week.
Right.
Yeah.
So for everybody, we have invited Dr. Swapnisha Joshi, who is also our NSO live expert, NSO expert, and she's been training our students for a long time for NSO classes 7 and 8. She's quite favorite amongst her students, and student actually joined the class saying that we want to join Dr. Swapnisha's classes. And many of them have got prizes, accolades, medals, certificates after joining ma'am's class, and a lot of their queries have been solved. They become science experts actually. So we called her today live to know how she trains her students and how these live sessions that she does for doing the concept classes and previous year paper classes help students to prepare better. So, Swapnisha, we've been facing a lot of, we get a lot of queries from across the country, various schools and some international locations as well, wherever children are taking NSO exams. So, a
Yeah.
lot of them have some common queries which we're going to ask you today. So, if you can answer those, it will be very helpful for all of them to prepare better for their exams this time.
I'll
And
be trying.
following that, they can join. I think you're about to start some previous year paper classes very soon.
Yeah. Very soon. Like in September 1st or second week, we are starting the previous year paper classes. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, Krisha, what do you do in these previous paper classes? What is the format of these classes?
So we just discuss the whole question paper. So we take one or two classes, and in that we just discuss the whole question paper, the previous papers which have come in NSO. We solve them paper live with our students at the moment in the class, so they know how to solve a question, how to go about reading a question, how to understand them, analyze the paper, and things like that. So it's a very proper discussion, interaction based classes
Okay.
where the queries of students are handled directly. So they don't have to be confused, like they'll solve the whole paper by themselves, analyze it by themselves. We
Okay.
make it easier for them to analyze it with us.
So, do you also do concepts based on those questions? Do you revisit these concepts when you solve these questions with the students?
Of course. So like there are some concepts which are very easy, so you don't have to discuss them all the time. But there are some where you have to just touch upon them, especially when I need to know that. See, the students need to understand the basics. The foundation should be good, right? So when we
Yeah.
are discussing a question, if I feel like the foundation needs to be touched upon, we go and touch upon that topic as well. So concepts are always discussed side by side with the questions.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, that's the very first question that we have been getting from our students is, ma'am, how has been, okay, so this is how is your experience preparing students for the classes? How do you feel, do you feel energetic, do you feel nice preparing them for the class, and how interactive are these classes?
Okay, so my experience has been so great so far. Like, it's really cool to interact with students, especially when they're curious about things, right? And the students that are coming in my class are very curious. I'm very thankful for that. And it's like amazing. We have a lot of fun. We discuss a lot of questions, not just the topics that are going in the class, but something related to them. So we all expand our knowledge. So this giving and taking of knowledge is amazing while
Wow,
doing my classes. So I'm having
that's
so
amazing.
much fun.
Thinking of the knowledge is a great part of it. Right. Nice. Good to know. So, what is the criteria of qualifying to NSO level 2? So, NSO is for classes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 to 10. There are two levels of NSO. Level 1, which is conducted typically in October and November, and then there is level 2, which is conducted in February. So, you have
Yeah.
trained children for both the levels, right? So,
Yeah.
what is the criteria that they can through which they can get into level 2 NSO?
Okay, so first there is a criteria for you to get into the merit list, which will qualify you towards the NSO level 2 path. So there are three things which any of the three you do and you will qualify for the level 2. First is you
Okay.
either get into the top 5% in
Okay.
the whole NSO paper. So if, for example, in class 5th, 10,000 people gave the exams, right? If in between these 10,000 you come under the top 5%, you are qualified for level 2. Second category comes where they choose students from each zone. So NSO has 26 zones, 25 from India, 26 from the international zone, right?
Okay.
So if you come, you get top 25 ranks under each zone, then also get qualified. And then lastly, it's based on school toppers. So if in your school, in your standard, you are a topper, and more than 10 people have taken part from your class and you got more than 50% marks, then also you get qualified. Other than that, there is also a cutoff thing which is going on in NSO because it's not that easy of a paper. So you have to clear cutoff in each of the section of NSO paper itself. So just like in our exams, we have a minimum passing marks, right? You have to come above that minimum passing marks and then only you will get qualified. So those are, yes.
What is important in terms of marking of the paper, there are sections. So section wise also you have to qualify, and you also have to reach the minimum
qualification, 50%, more than 50% marks also in the overall paper.
That is good. Okay. So another question, Swapnisha, for you is that is the syllabus of NSO and the syllabus of science subject in school same? Is it same syllabus that you have to follow in school and for the Olympiad preparation?
Okay, so if we talk about topic wise, then yes, the syllabus is same. But the way they question, the way they ask the concepts is very different from our school subjects and school exams, right? So that's where NSO differs from school. Obviously, the topics will be same. If you are in 7th standard, you will be asked about the topics in 7th standard only, right? But the way they ask, the language they use, that differs a lot, and that's why it takes a lot of practice in NSO itself. And that's what we do in our classes. Okay, we make students understand how to go a bit deeper in the same concept that you have studied from school also, right? So that's where we.
Okay, perfect. That's nice. Good. So primarily the syllabus is the same, but NSO requires different level of preparation because the way the questions are asked are different, and there may be probably more higher order thinking skills.
Exactly. So higher order thinking skills question and the questions which are case study based, the questions which are objective in style, which we are not very familiar with in our schooling exams, right? So yeah, that's a different pattern there. Yeah, exactly.
A very similar question, just to elaborate more on what we just discussed. Please compare the difficulty level of NSO Olympiads to the science syllabus covered in the school exams. Do students need to practice beyond school syllabus for NSO? And how? How do they practice for this now?
Okay. So yeah, sometimes they do have to go beyond school syllabus because NSO has this one thing. It doesn't just ask the questions from a current standard. It will ask you questions from your previous standards also. Okay, so it shows how you apply your knowledge. It asks you application of knowledge, not just the knowledge, right? So that's why it requires more practice, especially from previous year papers, mock tests and things like that. You have to be very familiar with it. Another challenge which comes with NSO is the time management. So you have 50 questions and you have to do it under an hour. So you get a lot, very less time. Yeah, 1 minute
question in a minute.
Exactly. So you have to be very quick about it. And for that, you have to be very thorough with your paper and you have to be very thorough in your comprehension of reading questions also. If you cannot comprehend the question, you won't be able to answer it very quickly, right? So these are the things where difficulty level in NSO goes quite up. And again, there are some concepts which are a bit higher level. So the higher order thinking skills or the achiever section in NSO, so that part. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So it is actually, so I think these NSO exams from the beginning start preparing you for competitions later on that you take, like GE exams and NTFC and NEET exams, etc., right?
Things like that. Yeah. See, NSO has a way of asking you how you apply your knowledge in the world, right? And if you have that application of knowledge thing inside of you, if you know how to apply your knowledge into various things, it'll prepare you for life. That's true. For any exams which come into the future, and also it will like increase your way of seeing the world in a different perspective. Like you ask more questions, you become more curious, things like that. So yeah, it prepares you for life, not just the exams in future. So it's a very good thing to start early in these papers specifically. So yeah.
Okay. So, Swapnisha, we seriously, I mean, we believe that, you know, it is very important to know what you're getting into. It is very important to know what you're getting into. So, while going for an NSO exam, you really need to understand what kind of question paper will come, what kind of sections will be there. So,
Yeah.
question from a lot of our students is that please specify, please give us or discuss the pattern of the NSO exam that you get in 7 and 8. There must be a pattern that the Olympiad question papers follow. So, if you can just throw a light on how to, what is the pattern?
So NSO question paper pattern, the level 1 question paper is divided into 3 sections, right? So we have logical reasoning, which is the first section, which has 10 questions. Then we have science, which is the main part, which has 35 questions. And then lastly, we have achiever section, which has 5 questions again. Okay. And then each section has different marking. So logical reasoning and science has 1 mark each for each question. Whereas in achiever section, 1 question holds 3 marks. And then there is no negative marking in the paper itself. So this is the whole pattern in which the paper comes, right? Other than that, again, the questions asked will be 60% from the current syllabus and 40% from the previous syllabus, which you have gone through, like from, if you're going for 7th standard, some questions will be from 6th, some will be from 5th. So 40% syllabus comes from here and 60 is from here.
Okay, all right. And so what is the weightage of various sections in this question paper?
Okay, so different weightage has been given to different sections. So for example, our logical reasoning part has 15% weightage. Okay, so you have to score above 15% in logical reasoning to qualify that. Then again, science being the main part has 60% weightage, right? And then achiever section, I'm not sure about that one. I cannot remember it correctly, but it should be somewhere near 40 to 50% because achiever section again has a lot of weightage. Single question holds
15% or 20%. I think achiever section is approximately 20% of the total paper. Okay, so in the science section, the questions are mixed between physics, chemistry, biology. Or is there anything more on any particular subject? Or is it the same?
Equally divided into 3 subjects. It depends on your class also. See what are the topics in your standard which are more. So if you have more biology topics in your class, in your standard, then that will come more. Okay, and I've seen, okay, so this is true for all the exams. They are much more current affair based. So if there is a topic which is very new, so for example, there was pandemic period. So they ask more questions about diseases and viral diseases and things like that. They'll focus a bit more on that, right? So yeah, more or less same. The weightage is equally divided, and one topic can get 2 more questions, 1 less question, things like that. So it's not much different.
Perfect. That's good to know. So children, you may get more questions related to the current scenario. What is more prevalent? What is running? What is in news, and etc. Right? Okay,
Yeah, right.
Perfect. So. How important is it to practice previous year papers and mock tests when you prepare for these NSO level 1 exams?
Okay, so this is one of the most important things that a student needs to do to prepare for these exams. Because if you have no idea how something is coming in the paper, you'll be blindsided by it, right? So that's the first reason why you need to prepare from previous year papers and mock tests. Another reason why, because you make yourself familiar with things, you get more, you are eased into the paper. So when the paper comes in front of you, you won't get anxious or things like that during the exam if you are already preparing the question papers, if you are doing. And the third thing, it helps you in time management and making your strategy. How to strategize, how to solve the paper. Some people like to start from the end. Some people like to do each section differently. Some want to start from first question and then go to last, right? So which strategy suits you best? You learn those things while giving these previous year papers and while doing these mock tests. And that's what I do in my classes also, right? I make sure students go about all these 3 different methods, different strategies while solving the paper, and they can choose then which is best for them, right? And yeah. So this is very, very important. Previous year papers.
Give them a complete idea how the question paper is about and the various section distribution, difficulty level, time management. So all these are very important to prepare for NSO. And so through PYP and mock test, you get a good practice for all of these, right?
Yeah. It's a very necessary aspect of the paper preparation.
Okay. So any particular 2-3 topics which you feel are most important or have maximum weightage in the question paper? From science?
I cannot choose a particular topic, right? Because in science especially, it's a very subjective thing, right? Science. So some students will be good in numericals, some won't be. Right? Some will prefer bio, some will prefer chemistry. So there is no one single topic which I can choose and say, okay, this will be difficult, right? But I can always say that the language of the paper, is something which everyone finds difficult, right? If you cannot understand the language, if the students don't know how to read, how to understand, that's where they miss out. Okay, so there are some questions which are very easy. And when I explain it to my students, they're like, oh, this was it. But when they are reading it, they don't know how to comprehend that, right? So that's a difficult aspect. NSO people, they confuse you in language. They always do. They use a very specific type of language, which makes you like, okay, maybe this could be answer, maybe that could be answer. But they have given the answer in question itself, right? So that's one thing that you need to understand. That's more a topic which I focus on. Other than that, numericals, yes. It's necessary to focus on numericals because even though the calculations aren't that difficult in NSO, but time management, as we have already discussed, is necessary. And in numericals, students will waste a lot of time. So they need to know how to solve a question very fast, in a very quick manner.
Yeah,
and for that,
we need to know the question paper. Right. So the practice is most important, right? Practice, if they practice many papers, if they've gone through many concepts or many type of questions, they will find it easier to sail through in these question papers.
Exactly. So practice is the biggest part. If you do not practice, you cannot do anything after that, right? So yeah, practice being the key part, and practicing previous year papers and mock tests, very, very necessary for the paper itself.
So even on SS Olympiad Trainer, we're giving around 6 previous year papers of the last 6 years, and we're giving almost 5 to 6 mock tests. So in all, we're doing 11 to 12 papers. So do you think practicing 11 to 12 papers for preparation of NSO is good enough?
Yes and no. So it depends how good you are in practicing, how diligent you are in the work that you are putting into the practice, right? So especially in our classes that we do, we mix up the questions, we make new questions, we also teach them concepts, right? So you have to understand, you have to have a basic foundation first. Once you have built the foundation, after that you go for questions. You start practicing the questions, you start doing the previous year papers, you start doing the mock tests. And as you have said, we do 6 to 7 papers, and we do multiple mock tests and multiple test series, and then short quizzes for topic-wise sections also. So all these things together make a big impact on the
performance. Right.
Yeah. So all those things come
very important. Another
together.
question. Right. So another question that we have is that by the time NSO Olympiads are conducted in school, the full syllabus is never covered in the class. How to practice and cover that part of the syllabus which is not covered in school?
Okay, yeah. So this is a very good question. See, for that you join our classes. Okay, we make sure the students complete their whole syllabus before the exam, like a month before the exam, and then after that they have a whole month just to do the questions, all the questions and everything. Like I said, basic foundation is necessary. So we build that foundation. We complete the whole syllabus. In schools, the syllabus is completed in January, Feb. By that time, your level 1 would have been completed. You will be going for level 2, right? So it's hard to manage it with the school. So yeah, a class side by side works a lot, gives you a lot of edge in the exam itself. And yeah, we make sure that you complete your syllabus around August, and then you have September, October completely to prepare for the paper itself. Yeah, specifically level 1, because level 1 is very important.
Some live classes to cover the syllabus. You need to cover live classes,
which is not covered in our schools usually, right? So that is also a thing that we add into the aspect of our teaching. Logical reason.
Okay, that's good. So if we join these live classes, we are covered from both. I mean, we do the PYPs, we do the concepts, the syllabus is covered. We get a lot of practice to these regular sessions, because a lot of tests, you people share a lot of tests after the class is over, right? But
a lot of
practice tests are shared.
So after each concept class also, if we take a class completely on a concept, completely on a topic, after that also we make sure the student goes through rigorous questions, too many questions, so that they have an idea how these questions, how this concept is going to come into the exam, how they have to apply their knowledge and things like that. So yeah, questioning is a very major part. So we always make them practice questions here.
Okay, that's nice, right? Okay, any 2-3 useful tips that you would like to give to your students across Swapnisha and to all the students who are taking NSO?
Okay, so yeah, there are some things which go for Let's just say three tips from my side. First is time management strategy. It's very necessary to manage your time in the exams, right? So you have 1 minute, as we have discussed, for each question. So you need to know where you have to spend that 1 minute. In which question you will just take 10 seconds, in which you will take more time, things like that. So for that, again, practice is necessary. Then we have to focus on building our foundation, because if you do not have a foundational basis, you won't be able to give NSO papers. They ask you questions which, if you know your basics correctly, you will be able to answer very easily. But if you are not good with your basics, then it's not going to happen. You will get confused. Most of the time, you will get confused. And lastly, be positive. Be positive, have a positive outlook. Do not leave your preparation in between. Do not get disheartened, and always like keep practicing.
Okay,
That's
right.
three tips.
That's great, Swapnisha. That's a very good. These are the good tips for the students. Actually, keep practicing, be regular, join the classes, and practice your papers. Be diligent. So all these will really help all of them, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it's a common saying that there is no substitute to hard work,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So hard work is to be done to score. There is no other way that you can do it. Mugging up just the papers or just mugging up the syllabus will not help. Practice has to come. There is
Yeah,
no substitute to that, right? Right.
right.
Great. So, Bisha, these are wonderful points from you, and I'm sure a lot of the students who have joined here and those who will see the recording would, would really enjoy, would get these important points from you, and that will motivate them and help them to, prepare for NSO better. And we've been getting some queries on how to join these classes. So, students, you can all join on SOFolympiadtrainer.com. I'm repeating it. It's SOFolympiadtrainer.com. Go onto the website, register yourself. You will have a section which says live classes. Go on to the live classes. You will see a package for previous year papers. We have already completed the concept classes. So you can see the recordings of the concept classes there. And now you can join the live classes with Swapnisha ma'am for PYP. We would be solving approximately 4 to 5 papers, and we would be doing a lot of quizzes in between. How we will do the quizzes is that we will complete one paper, then ma'am will share a link, and we will do a fastest finger first round kind of a thing that you do in KBC and all. And ma'am would then know that, how many students have been able to do and been able to give correct answers. And then she will work according to your requirement on that concept again. So, yeah, okay, about the course fee fee would be around 2,500 to 3,000 per person. This will include 10 to 11 live classes, plus doubt solving session, plus some free tests that would be available, and one All India mock test that will happen in October. So that All India mock test will help you know your preparation level on the entire basis. The entire lot of students from the country would be giving this exam, so you would know that where you stand. So the package includes a lot of things just for the classes, but a lot of other things. Okay, Swapnisha, one last thing. Are you able to handle the queries of the students in the class? Are these very interactive classes? Children can ask questions while taking.
They can ask questions. It's a very interactive class, and I like to keep my classes interactive only. And also, then once I have done with the concept, or if we are just discussing the paper, once we are done with that, we have a 15-minute doubt session at the end of each class, so students can ask their queries, and if we want to extend, we extend. So their queries are priorities; they are always solved, obviously. So yeah, always an interactive.
Right. So it's interactive. It gives you good practice. It gives you complete practice of the previous year papers. You can solve your queries. You can clear your concepts. You can make your concept stronger. What more would I need from a session? Wonderful. Thanks, Swapnisha. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for joining us. And students, I'm repeating, go on to SOFolympiadtrainer.com, register yourself and join these live classes and give it a try this year. I'm sure you will be able to improve your scores and back some medals this year. Okay, so we have one or two more questions. If school is not having SOF, can students do? Okay, sorry, but no, there is no individual participation as per our knowledge. SOF doesn't allow individual participation. You can only participate through your school. So request your school teacher and principal to get into these Olympiads, and then you can participate. So one of the biggest, largest Olympiad conducted all over the country and in the world. Huge number of students take it, so you should also do that. Any further questions that we have? I'm just waiting. Swapnisha, just give me 10 more, 20 more seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
someone is asking, I guess, that is this only for NSO, the classes and etc.
No. Okay, so the classes are for IEO, English Olympiad, NSO Science Olympiad, and IMO Maths Olympiad. The classes are for all three of them. Why only for these three subjects? Because these three subjects have two levels, so it's difficult to get into level 2. So you need preparation right from the beginning. You just can't start a little later. The competition is tough. The competition is wide. So you need to prepare thoroughly. And there is nothing less than 99 or 98% to qualify to level 2. So if you're scoring 80, 85%, then your chances to get into level 2 is less or meager. So it's better that you join the classes and you have a good practice. When are the classes starting? Okay, so the classes are starting next month, first week. All the details are available on the website sofolympiadtrainer.com. We have 2 batches here, 2 batches as in we have 3 dates for NSO. So first batch is for the first 2 dates and the second batch is for the second date. So check your date for the Olympiad, then accordingly you can join the class. Okay. Okay, one more thing, one question that we keep on getting. What are recordings and what are these concept classes? So concept classes were conducted in the month of May, June, July, August. Till August mid, we were doing these concept classes. We filled the slots very quickly, so we could only have some few students joining these classes. But for those who have not joined these classes, we have these recordings of the concept classes available at a very discounted price, 30-40% of the original price. So a lot of you can just buy those concept classes and you can run through the concept, and that would be very helpful. Some more queries. Can you provide a demo class? Okay, we do not have a demo class here, Anmol, but we have a lot of recordings available on a YouTube channel, SOF Olympiad Trainer YouTube channel. A lot of demos and recordings are available there, but no demo class as of now, because demo class, we don't need to do that because these recordings are there on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Anything else that I'm missing, Swapnisha? Yeah?
Okay, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So Anmol, you can go on to the YouTube channel and you can check the recordings out there. Swapnisha ma'am's recording are also available, which we did last year for the previous year classes and for the concept classes.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the timings? Timings are 2 slots for 6 to 7 and 7:15 to 8:15 p.m. We have kept late hours so that you're free from school, you're free from your sports activities, and you have all the time then to sit and attend these classes with focus and you're comfortable attending them. Channel name, please. It's SOF Olympiad Trainer on YouTube. I'll just give you the exact one. Just a second, please. Yeah, it's SOF Olympiad. Okay, so @online Olympiad Trainer. SOF Olympiad Trainer @online Olympiad Trainer. You just write SOF Olympiad Trainer, you will get the channel there. That's the only channel by this name. No other channels. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Swapnisha. Thanks once again for joining and for clarifying all the doubts. And hope to see all of you in the classes. Take care. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Swapnisha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Bye.